Okay, so video number 2 of the day. I am back. Make sure that you keep me motivated by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And yeah, man, hey, all I got to say is we're really getting close to 1 million. So we need all the subs we can get. Tell your mom to tell your dad to subscribe. Let's talk about Kodak Black. Let's talk about the news that he made over this weekend. So basically, he's locked up, like everybody knows, and a viral little freestyle clip over the phone from jail has emerged. And the one line that had people really, really upset, let's just find the exact line. In the clip of his freestyle, Kodak raps, I bought Young Miami a ring. She wanted 808 baby. When I see her, I'ma hit that B in her stomach. Reading it like that, it really sounds like a terrible lyric. It really doesn't sound like it sounded good over the beat. I can't even remember how it sounded. There was no beat. It was over the phone from jail. But I guess regardless, let's try to explain the situation in some sense. So Kodak Black, at a certain period, I don't know how many months ago, or like less than a year ago, him and Young Miami of City Girls, obviously. They, I don't know to what extent they had a thing, but there was a video that went around, a little bit, a viral video of him on one knee giving her a ring. I don't know how serious it was. I don't know if they were actually dating at that time or what the deal was, but there was definitely at least an allusion to the idea that they were very serious and committed to each other in some way. I'm not sure what happened to the relationship. There's probably some Kodak and Young Miami stands out there that could fill us in on it. But, you know, he's been locked up for at least a month or two. And so he puts out this viral freestyle and he drops that line. And everybody, I mean, number one, this has just become Kodak's code. Kodak always will hit you over the head with the most obscene, most impossible to imagine line, period. Like the most basic societal norms are things that Kodak feels absolutely comfortable violating. Let's go back in time. Remember when Kodak had the thing where he said that he was not attracted to dark-skinned girls? Listen, if you were a dude who felt that way, you would probably think about it a little bit before you said it. And you would think, maybe I won't say that because, you know, it's going to piss off like every darker-skinned woman on earth and everybody who sympathizes with them. Kodak, no, he just dropped it on the world. Let's think even more recently. Nipsey dies. What's Kodak do? Kodak says to Laura London on his story basically that he would take better care of her than Nipsey Hussle, who, keep in my head, just died like 24 hours earlier. So that, I mean, that right there, I think everybody had the same thought. They thought, how does this guy keep doing this? Like, he's such a good rapper. You see him on camera. He seems like such a fun guy, such an interesting guy, but he just keeps doing and saying some of the worst things that you can imagine. And not just bad in the sense that they're bad behavior and they're rude, but bad in the sense that it could potentially have negative impacts on his career. Like Kodak Black, when the whole Nipsey Hussle thing happened, I mean, there was definitely a lot of people who stopped messing with him, who took a song off the radio, et cetera, et cetera. If you were someone who thought for even a second, if I was Kodak in that situation and I was thinking maybe I'll say something to Laura London in that situation, even if you are such a callous jerk that you think that it might be okay to actually say that and you don't care about the fact that it might offend her or all Nipsey's friends, et cetera, et cetera, all you need is just the fact that it would mess up your career, that bad things would happen in your career, that you might have to move differently when you go to a place that would convince you, maybe I'm not going to say that. Well, I mean, the same thing has gone through my head when it comes to this whole line that he said, like, you know, punching a pregnant woman in the stomach. Let's be real. It's probably about the worst thing you can imagine. Like, I can't think of anything else that you could possibly think of, talk about, et cetera, that might be more offensive than that. I mean, and even him just mentioning Southside, you know, I bought my Young Miami a ring. She wanted 808 baby. I mean, which is, that part is kind of funny. That's like, when I first heard that in the Jailhouse freestyle, I was like, oh, that's a good line. And he said that next part, and I was just like, what are you thinking? Why would you say that? Like, do you really want problems with Southside? Okay, whatever, I guess. But just violating his baby mama. Like, can you imagine if you at home, if your girl was pregnant right now and a rapper put out a song where he said he was going to punch her in the stomach, try to think about how you would feel. Even if you don't have kids, you know how people feel about their kids, right? I mean, it's tough to imagine how you would feel if someone like Kodak, who's got millions of followers, millions of dollars in the bank, if he said something like that. Well, anyway, I guess we should actually cover what Southside said first. Southside's response was pretty good. Young Miami responded as well. But look, in an Instagram video, Southside responded by saying, "Hey, someone tell Kodak, sucker, how about that? Get out of jail first," he declared. Kodak's fans have responded to Southside's video, aiming to ban the rapper from Broward County. That's interesting to me, because is anyone, like, I'm a massive Kodak fan. Kodak is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Right now, he's one of my favorite rappers, period. I am not riding with him on this statement. It's so weird to think that his fans are apparently down to ride for him on, he's just exhibiting such bad behavior that it's hard to imagine anyone defending it. Southside also responded to Kodak's fans in an Instagram video saying, "I have a multi-million-dollar home in Broward. If y'all don't shut that shit Broward up," and he began. Okay, so basically, can you believe they actually got me trying to censor out my swears here? "I live in Broward. Broward police are not playing. Y'all cap as hell," he said on Instagram. So he's definitely right about that. Cops in Florida are a whole different breed, my friend. You might think the cops are bad in Atlanta or L.A. Florida cops, they got nothing to do. You saw it Rolling Loud. They got absolutely nothing to do. They will get you. They do not play. And probably a large percentage, or at least some percentage of the force, is racist. Definitely, probably most of them don't like rappers. So Southside, Kodak, believe that they are probably under the highest level of scrutiny. Maybe not Southside. He doesn't necessarily, put himself out there in such a way that I would think they'd be all over him. But, you got all kinds of guns and everything. So actually, here we do have Young Miami proving that she actually is pregnant at this moment. But anyway, let's look at her response. So look at this fool. "Kodak dusted you, little mama. Now this 808 dude is big mad." Kodak dusted you. I'm not sure if dusted in this sense means that he smashed or that he aired her out in the song. I don't really know. Also, fun fact, I'm supposed to interview Southside on Tuesday, so I definitely have an opportunity coming up to find out how he feels about this, and probably more words. I'm not sure if he's hitting any other podcasts in the meantime, but then she responded to this guy and said, "Poor ass N-word Kodak ain't dust shit." So, again, I don't really know what dust means. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't know if dust means sex or dust means embarrass. I'm open to either one. I'm not really with the culture enough to know what that means. I don't really use the word dust. I mean, I smoke dust. I've been smoking dust since I was a jit, but that's different. So anyway, I mean, then I saw this article today, and this sort of reminded me of the same thing. Rick Ross claims Kodak Black was on lean when he disrespected Lauren London. Is that true? I have no idea. I don't know why Rick Ross would say such a thing. Why would Rick Ross assume that? He makes it clear, even in this, that he never spoke to her, or he never spoke to Kodak about what he said about Nipsey, and he's just assuming. Is Kodak even still on the lean like that? Because I'm going to be honest with you, with his probation and everything, do you think that he's been drinking lean as recently as like a couple months ago? Because that's kind of surprising. I thought that Kodak had to stop because he was getting piss tested, right? And now he's locked up, and I don't know. But either way, I mean, when you see Rick Ross say something like this, it does become kind of clear. It's like, why do we all just sort of tolerate Kodak acting in a way that is so offensive to so many people, and myself included? Like, why do I make justifications for him? Why do I act like I think it's kind of all right? Like, I understand, like, oh, it's okay, when he says the most heinous stuff. Kodak really is a throwback, if you think about it, to like the 90s, when people could just casually get away with saying the most offensive stuff. And it wasn't like that stuff was really put under the microscope the way it is now. There used to be a lot more misogynistic stuff in our culture. Kodak is he's a throwback. Like, he gets by and is judged by a standard that not many people are able to operate on. And also keep in mind, this is the kicker, right? Kodak Black still has to stand trial for sexual assault. The R word. He's got to go to trial for that. That's really serious. Anybody else, any public figure, any gangster, anyone who's out there, if you were just about to face trial for sexual assault, don't you think that you would be thinking about it and you would be thinking, well, damn, maybe I'm not going to threaten to punch a girl in the stomach? Would that not maybe occur to you? Kodak, I don't know what you're doing, but I guess I'm still a tiny bit split, just because I do appreciate the fact that he is a person who's out here and he's able to just say anything that comes to mind, and that he just lives his life that way, and he apparently doesn't care what anybody thinks. Okay, fine, but that only goes so far. At the end of the day, you don't suggest that you're going to punch somebody's baby mom in the stomach, right? We got to have some standards. Let me know if you guys think I'm growing soft on you or anything, because, this was a real confusing one for me. NoJumper.com if you guys want to support. Appreciate y'all.